Compliance teams are facing growing regulatory pressure today. Hundreds of updates each week, thousands of obligations to track, and constant policy and control mapping, evidence gathering, and reporting, much of which are still managed manually across spreadsheets, email, and shared drives. Zango is the AI compliance layer that automates the manual groundwork behind these workflows, consolidating them into one platform so teams can focus on higher value judgment work. This is horizon scanning, where we monitor hundreds of regulatory sources in real time across the globe. You may be a multi-jurisdiction bank or an insurance firm, so different alerts will be relevant to you. That's why we've built in a relevancy model that constantly improves and learns about your business profile. Say I'm a European bank and one of these alerts came in and was marked relevant and actionable. If we click into it, you'll see a summary in plain language with the source document one click away. Key dates are captured here, and important data like topic, applicable departments, are mapped based on your org structure, so that you can quickly dig into what it impacts and why it impacts you. From here, relevant regulatory documents are housed in the regulation library, where it is grouped by domain and jurisdictions. Let's look at the full list. If we click into one of these documents, there is a summary, a link to the source document, and importantly, obligations are extracted here. But let's first look at the source document. It's a policy statement from the UK regulator about securitization rules, and it's about 700 pages long. Traditionally, obligation extraction of this sort of document would be a very time-consuming task for the compliance team. But here, Zango is able to turn this into a register of obligations in the span of hours rather than weeks. The obligations are categorized neatly by section, and if we click into one, it comes with a summary, a link to the source, relevance, and a breakdown of the criteria that is required to meet it. As a compliance team member, I can review these assessments and make changes if needed. The AI system will record my actions in an audit trail and learn from my changes. The natural next step is gap analysis, comparing your obligations against your firm's policies, processes, and controls. The challenge with gap analysis is sometimes your evidence is spread across multiple policy documents. There may be duplications or even contradictions, all making it a very tedious task. With Zango, you can compare multiple regulatory documents with multiple policy documents, and it will do a comprehensive assessment of whether the obligations from the regulations are adequately met, partially met, or if there's a gap. Let's look at a completed gap analysis here. Some of these are partially met obligations. So how has the AI system come to this conclusion? Each obligation comes with an assessment criteria, and they are mapped to sections of the policy that satisfy them. In this case, sufficient evidence was found for some of the criteria but not all. Hence, the obligation is only partially met. If I was a reviewer in the compliance team and I disagree with something, I can add the evidence and change this to a tick. So you can see we've built in methodology that's transparent and can be easily checked and complemented by compliance team reviewers. Next, policy governance allows you to look at your policies, identify which policies have gaps, and track where each of them sit in the policy cycle. It also gives teams a centralized place to access the most up-to-date information like actions due, the document itself, versioning, ownership, so that the teams can avoid having multiple versions of policies and tracking things in separated threads. What teams find super useful here is that our modules don't sit in silos. For example, if we look at a policy in policy governance, it links to alerts that have recently come out from horizon scanning that are relevant to this policy. This allows for faster rectification of policy gaps. Lastly, we have other modules to help with continuous monitoring, such as controls monitoring, marketing campaign reviews, and AI agents for quality assurance of high-volume compliance workflows like KYC, adverse media screening, etc. This has been a high-level run-through of the Zango platform. For a more detailed demo, please speak with our team. Thank you.